All right. Hey, everybody. It's Rob here for our weekly BSPU call. And I went ahead and started recording, but I am going to go do a Facebook Live at the same time for the content piece of this. And then I'm going to come back to you and answer any questions that you guys might have. By the way, I know some of you, I see Michael Botts is on. I know some of you on a regular basis create content and do Facebook Lives. That's a great way to build your audience and grow your following by just sharing simple things like what I'm going to share today, which is about a conversation that I had with a potential client earlier this week. And I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes that authors make with their books. That's going to be applicable to you, but it's also applicable to those that follow me and that are on my various pages, etc. That could lead to new appointments and opportunities for our author development coaches, etc. So I'm going to jump on. So this is kind of very meta, a teaching within a teaching, if you will. I'm going to jump on and I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to come back to you and answer any questions that you have. So let's see if Facebook can start my live video. Great. I love it. All right. Hey, Rob Kosberg here with Bestseller Publishing. Looks like I was just able to go live. Facebook was struggling there for a minute, but it looks like it's gone live, which is fantastic. So I want to talk to you today about a couple of things. Number one, the biggest mistakes that authors make. I'm actually going to give you a bonus, and that is I'm going to tell you about the two biggest mistakes, okay? So where did this come from? Well, every week, and I'm actually live on Zoom right now, every week I do a live call for our bestseller publishing community, and I share about a tactic or a strategy, or I share about some way that our authors or our company here is using a best-selling book or are using multiple best-selling books to grow our income, grow our influence, grow our impact, etc. So I'm going to share with you about the tactic today because I haven't gone live in a little while. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post them below on Facebook. I'll get to them later, but I'm going to do this for about 10 or 15 minutes, then I'm going to dive off. So I was talking to a potential client earlier this week, calling in from the other side of the world, 12 hours ahead. And it was actually a fairly typical conversation in that I hear some of the same things over and over again. This client, potential client, was referred to me. So we started talking. I asked, okay, tell me about the book. Tell me a little bit about the details. Tell me about what you really want to accomplish with the book. And what almost every author does is they want to immediately talk about their book and their idea and their passion. And I get that, and I hear that a lot. And they also want to send me books, and I get books all the time mailed to me. And I had to tell them, look, don't send me anything about the book at this point. I'm not really interested in reading it. What I'm interested in is really hearing about your plan. And I said, now don't take offense at that, but I can't read every single book that people want to send me. I really want to hear about your goal and your plan with your book. Well, the first thing he told me is that his book's been complete for over 2 years. And I'm like, okay, that's great. So it's published. You've marketed. How's it done? He goes, no, I never published it. I'm like, really? So your book's been done for 2 years and you never published it. So the number one big mistake that non-authors make is that they wait too long to actually publish their book and get a plan for it. This gentleman has been sitting on his book for over 2 years complete, yet it's not edited, it's not published, and nothing has happened. If you've ever been on one of my webinars or trainings, I talk about the biggest mistake that I made that cost me $1 million in income, and that biggest mistake that I made was taking a year to actually complete my book and publish it. Because the first year after I did that in 2009, I did $1 million in income. So had I just backed that up and done it in weeks instead of months and a year, then I would have made an additional $1 million in income with my best-selling book. Waiting is costing you a fortune. You need to stop doing that. But that's the biggest mistake that non-authors make, okay? Here's the biggest mistake that authors make. They don't have a plan for after the book, what they're going to do. Now, I know why this potential client hasn't published his book in 2 years. I know why. Because he has no plan for it afterwards. He doesn't have a vision. He doesn't see what can actually be accomplished with his best-selling book. And because of that, there's no motivation to actually get the thing done and published and marketed. Look, if I told you today that I have $1 million for the first person sitting on my desk in stacks of hundreds, sitting on my desk for the first person that made his way here to Pasadena to pick this $1 million up, let me tell you, you would do everything you could to be the first person here to get the money. Well, that's the exact same thing with your book. Your book is your opportunity for lead generation, speaking engagements, for massive PR and publicity, and potentially millions of dollars in income. And yet people sit on them all the time because they don't realize it. They don't have the vision. They don't see. They don't have a plan for what's going to come afterwards. So he's been sitting on this thing for 2 years and isn't really highly motivated to do much with it. Now, I ask all these questions because, look, to work with bestseller publishing, there is an investment involved. And I want to know, does this person really see the vision? Do they really have a vision? So when someone like this tells me, well, maybe I'll do some speaking engagements. I do some now. And I'm like, great. So how much are you paid for a speaking engagement? Well, I'm not paid anything for a speaking engagement. I'm like, okay. Would you like to be paid $5,000, $10,000, $15,000? And when somebody says to me, yes, and I think I can be, then they're beginning to see the opportunity and the vision, because a best-selling book can actually make that happen for you if it's used in conjunction with a great marketing plan. So here's the problem. When you launch a book, good things will happen from the launch of the book. I was just going back and forth with one of our clients, Jay, and Jay just launched a book, and in the first 4 days, he's got 126 reviews. It's #1 on all these major categories. He's killing it. It's going fantastic. When you launch a book successfully the way we teach you, or if we're doing it for you, then good things will happen from that. You may get some speaking engagements. You may generate some media and PR, especially if our team is doing it for you. And you may generate some leads that make you some money. We have a client, Ted Coleman, who just from the launch of his book did $250,000 in income. Taki Moore did over $300,000 in income during the launch of his book. Richard Maybun did $700,000 from massive speaking engagements he got from the launch of his book. But that is, pardon the pun, a limited shelf life. In other words, the book launch only happens one time. And if your goal is only to see what you can get from the book automatically, I like to call that the publish and hope mentality. You're going to publish it, you're going to launch it, and then you're going to cross your fingers and hope. Yes, I'm in the office. I'll go ahead and hit the DND button, do not disturb button. If that's what you're going to do, just cross your fingers and hope, then guess what's going to happen? Maybe some good things, maybe not much. But if you have a plan, if you know what you want to accomplish after the book, if you want to use your book for speaking engagements, then you can set a system in place to use your book and get as many speaking engagements as you want. If you want to generate leads for your business, then you can use your book not only to generate leads for your business, but to close deals for your business. Because let me tell you something, you're in competition right now with other people. And if you are in competition with somebody that is a best-selling author, that's been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, Entrepreneur on Fire, podcast, blogs, etc., right? And has literally written the book on your subject, but you haven't done any of that, then let me tell you, even if they're more expensive, you're going to lose the deal to them. So you want that to be you, right? Because you're in competition with all these other people. So your goal is not just to use the book to generate leads. Your goal is to use the book to generate sales. So you can generate leads from the book, and then anybody that you have that is potentially interested in your products or services, you should get them a copy of your book. They should be reading through it. You should highlight things that have to do with whatever services you offer that apply to them, so that they see, hey, this guy, this gal gets it. She gets me. He gets me. And he has literally written the book on the subject. There's so many different ways that you can use your book. But if you don't have any plan, then unfortunately your book just sits on your desk and you cross your fingers, publish, and hope that something good is going to happen. That is the biggest mistake that authors make. Remember, the biggest mistake non-authors make is they wait. They think, oh, I'll get around to it. Eventually it'll happen. They write, they hope, and eventually they finish, maybe or maybe not. But those that are actually finished authors, their biggest mistake, maybe your biggest mistake is, you just don't have a plan of what to do with your book. And because of that, your book isn't accomplishing anything for you. And it could do so much if you used it in conjunction with your media, if you used it to get continuous PR, if you used it to generate leads, if you used it to generate speaking engagements. it could be a massive win, not just today, not just during the launch, but forever. As long as you are in this space, as long as you are in the field that you wrote about, it could continue to be a win. But listen, if you don't plan, then you're going to fail. And I think it was Jim Rohn that said the biggest problem is not in people's plans failing. Their biggest problem is that they fail to plan. So don't fail to plan. It's the biggest mistake that authors make. Hey, I hope this was helpful to you on Facebook. I'm going to switch over back to Zoom and answer any questions that my paying clients have. And if you guys have a question, I'll get back to Facebook and I'll answer them for you as well. Hey, thanks so much. You guys have a great day. You're awesome. And I hope this was helpful for you. All right, guys, let me finish my Facebook Live. Looks like I got a ton of engagement from it, which is cool. That's what we want. We want a ton of engagement. And bunch of comments, 4 shares, 8 comments, already 100 plus reviews. So great. So hopefully lots of people will be interested in that and they will become clients of bestseller publishing because of it. So let's see if you guys have any questions or anything I can specifically answer for you. By the way, when I put that stuff together, I didn't put it together for Facebook. I put it together for you. I just said those things on Facebook, but that is for you guys. And this is the same problem that our authors have. And I am here to help you. We do, BSP does live events for our Done For You clients where you come in, we talk about all the different ways. We offer ongoing support, but if you're not ready for ongoing support, that's totally fine. You don't have to continue working with us, but you do need a plan. You do need a way to use your book to continue to monetize it. It's not something that you just publish one time and then it continues to work for you. Yes, it will. People will find you. But if you do that publish and hope strategy, then you're not going to get near what you could out of it. So our goal for you here is for your book to do exactly what you want it to do and beyond your dreams and imagination. And remember, the 3 things we focus on: speaking engagements, lead generation, and ongoing publicity and PR. Every single month, I'm featured in something. I'm featured in a magazine. I'm featured on a podcast. Why does that happen? Is it just an accident? Absolutely not. I am spending money. I have 2 full-time publicists that, of course, book you, but they also book me. I need to stay in the public eye as long as I want to generate leads for my business. The same thing with lead generation, using our books and even our clients' books to generate leads for BSP. And speaking, I don't do as much speaking. I'm very, very selective because I don't like to travel other than for vacations and fun. So speaking is not a major way for us to generate business, except when it comes to things like podcasts and webinars and that sort of thing, something where I don't have to travel. Let's see here. So the chosen one, that's all I have for your name here on Zoom, says, hello, I love it. Yes. Oh my, I want to do 10 talks a month for $5,000 a talk. Hey, fantastic. You'll get burned out fast doing 10 talks a month, though, especially if you have to travel for those talks. So you may want to rethink that strategy. There's lots of ways to make $5,000 a talk. Hey, I shared last week or the week before our webinar strategy, and on that webinar, I did like $120,000 on one webinar. There's lots of strategies that you can use in conjunction with speaking. You just need a plan, right? The biggest mistake that authors make is they have no plan after publishing. They're just hoping that good things are going to come to them. So any questions that you have for me? Tracy says, I'm in the first module. It asks you to sign up to Amazon. Yes, everything we do is via Amazon. Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla in our marketplace, meaning that they are the biggest player. They publish and sell more books than the next 10 publishing platforms combined. So we want to give Amazon everything that they want. We use Amazon Kindle, which can also be read on iPad and a million other devices. And we use CreateSpace, which is Amazon's company, Amazon's partner, to do the softcover version of the book. Tracy says, I was wondering what royalties is best to choose, 35% or 70. Always choose 70. But here's the thing, Tracy, you're going to go through the rest of the modules. We have it all mapped out on how you launch your book. So choose 70, but understand this, when you do your launch, initially, you're going to offer the digital version of the book for 99 cents while you're getting reviews for the book, okay? We call that the soft launch or the review phase. After that, then you're going to do your 5-day free promo, and then after that, you're going to go to pricing the digital version at $2.99 or above. To receive 70% of the royalties on your book, it must be priced at $2.99 or above. So just understand, if you don't know anything I'm talking about right now, you don't get what I'm talking about, then don't worry about it. It's in the training, in the launch modules. So you want the 70%, but just understand initially you're going to do 99 cents, which is only the 35% royalties, but you're only doing that to get reviews on your book. This is part of our strategy. The Chosen One says, as a done-for-you client, this is taken care of. Yes, it is all taken care of. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. We do everything. It's only if you're in the do-it-yourself modules and our Publish My Bestseller program that you have to follow the steps that we teach. But you don't need to worry about it. We do all of that for you as a done-for-you client. So no worries. Review phase, launch, pricing, everything. Carl says, with respect to creating a plan for monetizing the book, what are the main elements of the plan? What are the handful of questions I should be asking myself to develop a plan for the answers to those questions? E.g., one of the questions I noticed from what you said was, how much traveling am I willing to do speaking engagements? Excellent point. So the best place to begin, Carl, is in two areas. Area number one, and this could be 1 and 1A, right? It's not area 1 and 2 in the sense that one's more important than the other. But let's call area number 1 the biggest opportunities that you have to make money, okay? Because we're talking about monetizing. So what are the biggest opportunities you have to make money in your business? If your business is a service business, then I would assume that means getting more clients for your high-ticket service business. If you're a coach or consultant, that would mean getting more clients and raising prices as a part of it for whatever coaching or consulting that you do. For bestseller publishing, we're always looking to attract more high-quality clients into our program. So for us, the number one question is, okay, what are we selling? How are we monetizing our program? The number two question, or number two thing to think about is what you reference, and that is, what do you want to do? If you're not willing to travel once a week for 40 weeks a year, and if you make $5,000, even $10,000 a speech, that's not bad money. 400 grand a year is not bad money, but the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't trade 400 grand for being on the road 40 weeks a year. No way. I love where I live. I love my life. I play golf every week. I got, stuff with my kids and my wife. And so I'm not going to trade that. However, I will do speaking engagements. I'm doing one. I'm speaking out at the ClickFunnels event in Orlando to like 3,000 people. I might do 3 or 4 or 5, and I won't even get paid for those speaking engagements because I know that those speaking engagements will generate leads and new clients for my business. So 2 questions. Number 1, what are the big opportunities for me to monetize in my business? And question number 2 is, what do I want to do? How do I want to do this? So as an example, lead generation is always important. But if you're like me, you already know that you're probably only going to speak a couple times a year as great opportunities arise. For me, I mentioned, I don't care if I get a fee. I have been paid a fee, $5,000 to $10,000 to speak, but I don't want to speak to a group unless it's a group of my ideal clients. So even if someone is going to pay me $10,000 or $15,000, I have to weigh that against how much money I would be making if I spoke for free to a group of 100 ideal customers. So I spoke in Hawaii last December. I was not paid to speak to this group in Hawaii. It was about 125 people. I took 2 of my sons along with me. My wife couldn't go because she was actually traveling to Costa Rica on a surf trip with her friends. Tough life, right? And so I went to Hawaii. I took 2 of my boys with me. We had a great time. I spoke like 3 times. I helped facilitate this workshop. And that event, I was not paid to do that. It cost me money to go there, but that event made me over 6 figures in new clients. Why? It was a small event, but they were all my ideal clients. And of course, I in a soft way, offered a package. I offered ongoing help and connected with 10 or 15 people that became my clients over a period of 3 or 4 months. So when I speak at a big event, like I'll speak at ClickFunnels, I will probably collect 10, 15 names and telephone numbers of people that will inevitably become my clients, some of them immediately, some of them over a period of 2 or 3 months. So when it comes to speaking, that's not a big part of my business, but I still need to decide, what do I want to do with speaking? Well, I want to speak only to the groups of people that are my ideal customers. I don't want to speak for a fee. I want to make 6 figures in a speaking engagement, not 4 or 5 figures. And the only way for me to make 6 figures, no one's going to write me a check. My name's not Hillary Clinton, or Donald Trump or something like that. No one's going to pay me big bucks to show up, right? But they'll pay me big bucks because of the clients, if they're the ideal person in the room, the clients that I'll get from it. So that's for speaking. So not a big part of my strategy. So what are my strategies? My strategies are the things that allow me to be right here in front of the computer. That's things like podcasts. That's things like, radio shows. That's print articles and things like that I can use and repurpose. I have one that I just posted on the bestseller publishing page that has about 10,000 fans or so. It's not huge, but that is an article that was written about me in Entrepreneur Magazine. And so I reposted that. I put a link in there, and I'm running some traffic to it to see if we can generate some leads from that thing. So I'll use ongoing PR. And then the biggest thing for us is just generating leads on an ongoing basis through whatever opportunities we have. And that, for me, is social media. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Twitter, etc. And we offer elements of our best-selling books or our client stories or case studies to generate leads, which then either become clients or don't become clients. So, man, that was a long-winded answer. I'm sorry, Carl, to have so much to say there. Hopefully my answer made sense to you. I would say that you need to think through those 2 things. What is it you want, and what is it that you're willing to do, or that is your best monetization opportunity? That was a good answer, Carl says. Thanks. What is the best way to get high quality reviews for Amazon that qualify? So here's our review strategy. It's very simple. And people always want to complicate this process or try to make it more mass market appeal, but it doesn't work. So our process is very simple. If you want 20 or 30 reviews, which right out of the gate you should get, then you're going to need to contact personally twice that many people. And you may say, oh, that's such a hassle. You'll get other reviews from the launch. You'll get other reviews from the organic stuff we do, but you need to have some reviews. So if you don't have a big audience, a big following, then what is it you need to do? Well, you need to use social media, say Facebook or Twitter or email, and you need to personally reach out to people that you have a relationship with. That's your sphere of influence. That's any past clients that you have, and you're going to engage with them personally. How would I do that? Let's say, Michael is on the webinar. Michael was at our live event a couple of months ago. So I might say, if I needed a review from Michael, I might say something like this. I'm typing a message on Facebook. And Michael, this is something you can use for anything that you want help with as well. This isn't just a review strategy. I might say, Michael, hey, it was great seeing you in Los Angeles with your daughter, back in December. That was really fantastic. Great to re-engage with you and meet her. Congratulations on the success of your coaching business. Listen, I wonder if you can do me a favor. I'm launching a new book, and I've listed the price at 99 cents for the next week because I want to get as many 4- and 5-star reviews as possible. Would you do me a favor and download the book for 99 cents and then just read 2 or 3 chapters? That's all. You don't have to read the whole book. Read 2 or 3 chapters and then offer a review based on the chapters you read. Could you do that? ? Rob. Now, what did I just do in that 2 or 3 paragraphs? And I was probably more wordy than that, but you don't need to be. Number one, I engaged with Michael personally, and I reminded him of our personal interactions. That's important. Number two, I asked a favor, and I reduced the price of the book to make it easy for him. I told him what I need. Please download the book for 99 cents. I told him, I made it easy for him. I said, just read 2 or 3 chapters. Don't read the entire book, okay? And then offer a review on those chapters. I made it as easy as possible, and then I ended with a question, can you help me with this? That's it. If you do this personally, then what you're going to see is at least half of the people are going to engage with you, especially if these are people you know, and they're going to actually leave a review for you. The more you're willing to do that, the more reviews you're going to get, besides the launch and all the organic things that we're going to do for you. But that's the best way. You asked a question, that's the best way to get it done. Chosen one, is it true that if they're friends on Facebook, social media, that Amazon will not use the review? That is not true all the time. So here's the thing I tell people. Amazon does have an algorithm. I don't know what the algorithm is. And they're looking at social media. They're looking at engagement. But the truth of the matter is they want reviews on their book as well, on books and products. They may deny a few of your reviews. They're not going to deny all of them. They're not going to deny most of them. They may deny a few of them. So what I tell people is, look, don't worry about the ones that they're rejecting or denying. Just go get enough for it to matter and make sense. Now, you can, if you're, a good friend of yours left a review and that review got denied, then your good friend can actually file a complaint with Amazon and get that review posted. But that's usually an extra step that people aren't willing to do. So, but if this is a good friend, then they can get that review posted. So don't worry about what Amazon is going to do. Just worry about what you can do. Hopefully that makes sense. So good stuff, guys. Good questions. Hopefully all this has been helpful. What else you got for me? You need a plan. You need to avoid the mistake. If you haven't written your book, you know that the big mistake is waiting too long. You need to get motivated and finish it. We're here to help that if we're helping you. If you're writing it on your own, then you need to get it done. You need to be motivated to do that. And as you're doing it, start formulating your plan based on those 2 questions that I answered for Carl. What is it you want to do and don't want to do regarding travel, speaking, etc.? And where's your biggest monetization opportunities? Where is the money coming from? Maybe it's a brand new field. Maybe you want to start a consulting business because you've been a successful fill in the blank. And now you want to consult other people on being a successful fill in the blank. Fantastic. Great. Then you need to start planning on how you're going to build your community, your platform, how you're going to use your book to get in front of the right people on social media, speaking, or whatever it is that you want. You can do this. It's simple, but that doesn't make it easy. I don't have any other questions, so unless you have anything else, we've been going about 30 minutes or so I think that's good. Video is recording for anybody that missed it. You guys are terrific. Thanks for being with me, and you'll see me again next week when we got some more good stuff. Have a great day.